And I might not get to the finish line with you, but I will continue to strive to carve out my own space before passing this baton on to a new generation of runner, confident in victory because success, it runs in my race.
So may I present to y'all the Ebony Excellence segment. That's right, y'all. That's right. Okay. And what makes this all the more meaningful is that it is a user submission. You too could submit your story suggestions to us. All you've got to do is email us at illbethatnews@gmail.com. You can also contact us through our other social media, okay? And the link tree will be in the description box down below. So you can submit and listen. We love hearing from y'all, and we love when y'all give us amazing ideas. And Jay Charles, salutations to you. Thank you very much, sir, for this one, because this was the perfect story to start the Ebony Excellence segment off right. So let's take a look at this one. Haven't read all of it, okay? But just look at the title. I knew this was Ebony Excellence the moment I saw it, okay? And it says former sanitation worker to earn Harvard law degree raises $70,000 for blue collar staff. Like, this hits on so many levels. It is giving so much. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Okay. Y'all, let's just check it out. Oh my god, I'm just so excited.
What made you pursue going into sanitation work?
Well, quite frankly, after I graduated, I did so bad in school that no colleges took me at any level. You know, D3, D2, D1, I had zero acceptances. A lot of the folks at the sanitation company actually started referring to me as smart, and not a lot of folks have done that before. And they essentially say you should go to school.
That's the trail to success, okay? You might not be that smart. You might be broke as a joke, right? But if you've got this talent in sports, right, and you can train, work hard, you know, if you've luckily maybe got a mentor, whatever, who can bring you to the training camps and this and that and whatever, then maybe you can get yourself into a D1 school, maybe even a D2 school, right? And you could get their full scholarship. And hey, even if you are not the 1% who makes it into the pros, at least you would get a free education, right? And he's saying that, like, listen, and this is what a lot of these young brothers don't understand, right? Because they see so much propaganda that shows them, oh, well, hey, all I've got to do is be amazing at sports. I'll never have to study again. I'll never have to this. I'll never have to that, right? So they think the grades are like a non-issue. It's a non-factor, right? And so they're pretty much failing out, and they think, oh, but yeah, but look, I'm the number one, number 3, number 4 pick in the country. Guess what? That's when they pass you, right? We talk about pick me and pass me, right? When we're talking about women, pick me's versus pass me's. Yeah, it's the same thing in sports. There are pick me's and pass me's, and guess what? If you can't maintain just basic passing grades, they will pass you by, right? If you can't maintain basic passing behavior, good behavior, so that you're not getting yourself arrested or whatever, they will pass you by, okay? And that's what these lower level D colleges are all about. Is a second chance. Try to prove that you can pull up your grades. Try to prove that you can, behave, that you can listen, that you're coachable, because being coachable is important, right? Whatever. So the point is, though, right, is they didn't even give him that shot. That's how bad his grades were. Maybe he had some conduct issues, who knows, right? And so imagine being a young black man and you've always been terrible at school, but you've been great at this one sport. And then that one sport didn't lead to nothing, right? So now you're working with the trash. And you know how people are, right? Working in sanitation actually pays very well. It's a brilliant thing to do. If you don't really have anything else you're gunning for, it's a great thing to do. It pays very well, right? But there's a cost. You end up smelling like trash and and people make fun of you and whatever, right? And yeah, he was there at the sanitation company, and this is the first place that people were calling him intelligent. You're smart, pick things up quickly, so on and so forth. You know how important it is to have someone who actually believes in you? who can actually see greatness in you and lets you know. I mean, sure, he was told probably, again, because of sports, right, that there was this great talent in him as far as sports, but intelligence, like you could get by on your brain alone. Yeah. And so I'm just looking at that already, and I'm seeing the power in what's happened right here, and just being like, wow, wow. No wonder he had this well of inspiration to pull from for him to continue doing what he's done. Now let's take a listen.
And so I guess me hearing stories about the system, me hearing stories, anyways, I could go on like a long list, but just after hearing their stories, I started to think about law.
That is amazing. Wow. Right?
And that was the first time me and him have ever exchanged words, and he didn't know me at all before that.
Wow. Wow.
But I basically just said it would be nice if there could be some type of organization that could bring students and support staff and better community, and just to make a school more holistic.
Yes. I'm loving the story.
So we're just kind of like just trying different ways to see how can we increase visibility and quality of life for our support staff.
Gotcha.
Right.
If you pay attention, a lot of the support staff, if not most of them, go above and beyond all the time. Like they act as like our counselors, they're like our surrogate parents. They go above and beyond. So I think like the nature of reciprocity would simply make sure like everybody wins. The support staff are happier, that'll make us happier, and then that'll give them a better work product, that'll give us a better work product.
Now I want y'all to recognize what each one teach one lifting as we rise means, because this is it. Okay, what I want y'all to realize, what those of us, when we talk about being collective minded, right, to understand what it is to be in a collective and to give back to your people, right, to help your own people out. This is what we're talking about, right? People make it seem like we're suggesting when you earn your first 10 million, you've got to give it all away to the hood, right? Well, shoot, you don't go back and live in the ghetto, then you're a sellout, right? Now, was there a time where people are saying stuff like that? Sure. Are there still some people who say stuff like that? Sure, right? But the reality is that this right here is what the majority of us are speaking about, okay? So now what is he doing? What he wanted to do, right? Because it's really the sanitation, the sanitation workers, the sanitation department working with these folk in this arena is what gave him the confidence to think, hey, he's intelligent, maybe he could do better, right? And like I told you, working in sanitation is not popular. This is not the thing the average person is choosing. So he chose it, sure, right? Rehan Staton, he chose it. And who is he working alongside with? A lot of brothers from what? They've been in prison, right? They don't have a lot of options like that. And it was working with them and hearing about what the system's done, right? And how difficult it's been and whatever, that inspired him to go into law. And now that he is less than 2 months away from grad, he's going to earn his Harvard law degree. Can you imagine? Harvard law. You know what I mean? As he worked his way, it's just crazy. It's amazing. How inspiring is that? Now, for him to have done that would have been inspiring, right? But that's not it. He then helped to start a nonprofit that raises money to support janitors and other support staff. And last week, he held an award ceremony to recognize those who may be overlooked and raised $70,000 to give them various financial support. Amazing. Right? Now, we're not talking about some, hard luck story, right? It says that he grew up in Prince George's County, a suburb of Washington, D.C., and he grew up in a middle-class, two-parent household during his early childhood, right? So, we're not talking about rags to riches per se. Then his mother left the family, leaving his father to raise two sons with financial and job troubles. The plight took a toll on Staton's education, right? Now, I want you to realize something, right? So we say, which is true, right? Kids really need their mothers in their formative years, and then as their fathers, or as they become teenagers, right, they really need their fathers for like that discipline and whatever. And we're really talking about on both sides. And so what you see here, right, the mother left the family. And what you see is a young man who learned and adapted and whatever, the discipline and whatever, but then there was clearly some emotional stability, right? Some emotional maturity he was lacking. And, the family suffered. And so, without the two-parent household there, his grades suffered, his performance in school suffered, and he was kind of stuck, right? Thank God, though, right, that he did have a great father who instilled the kinds of diligence and the kind of mature, the kind of drive that would have the young man not turn around and say that he was too good for, too proud to work, right? Like I said, sanitation tends to pay decently, right? And that's where he worked because he needed a job. And, to have the diligence that he had is amazing. Bro, there's so much inspiration in this story, right? Like, shout out to Tyler Perry for sponsoring this young man. But let's look at on a smaller level. Let's look at this. Mr. Staton said that a chance to go to college came and his brother chose to drop out so that way he could go. This is like, at the regular level of college. This is before Harvard Law. I mean, in and of itself, incredible story. So much. Each one teach one, lifting as we rise. There you go. See? And so his father, and I told you, I knew it was instilled from his father because his father already worked for this company. So did his older brother, right? This job, the Bates Trucking and Trash Removal in Bladensburg, right? And so again, you're taught, hey, listen, you do the best that you can for your family. You earn the most that you can, the best benefits, so on and so forth. And you don't sit there and play little stupid pride games, but I ain't gonna work in no trash. Okay, you go struggle at McDonald's for $40,000 a year while you're working 80-hour work weeks. Good luck. I'm going to go work in sanitation where I could be making six figures in not that much time. Thank you. Now, I don't know. Maybe it had something to do with the fact that, Rona had just started and whatever, right? But, Mr. Staton's story when he made it into Harvard Law, it made the papers, right? It made some national headlines. And so that's how Tyler Perry caught wind of it, right? And Tyler Perry reached out and said, yeah, I got you. And funded his Harvard. Imagine, did y'all know that a big reason why Black people in particular, but also people who are poor, there's a big difference in the wealth disparity between Black people and middle class white people specifically has to do with this one factor, which is even when we go to the same great schools, get the same great education, we place at the top of our classes, get the same jobs straight out of college or university, there's the big thing is that we are a lot more likely to be saddled with cumbersome debt, first of all. And second of all, we are also more likely to have family members, right, who require our help, in essence, financially. And so for his whole family, when I see what his family did, it's amazing. But when I see what Tyler Perry has added to this, that has given this young man the most amazing gift, because it really did level the playing field for him in a way that not a lot of us really get. Now imagine this amazing thing, right? So you have Zuckerberg, who started the Facebook, right? But you've got Staton, and he co-founded the Reciprocity effect to help support staff. And he's partnered currently with Harvard, right? But he's not stopping there. He wants to branch out and grow and expand, and he hopes to partner with other schools in the future. Amazing. What this young man has done is amazing. He's only 27 years old? Incredible. Now, I think that, this last point, I just think is really an interesting thing, because we really do take support staff for granted. I mean, generally we take most staff for granted. Let's keep it back. But we really do take support staff for granted, especially for the school. When you're talking about janitors, stuff like that, we really take them for granted, right? And so now let's take a look here. So he said that Mr. Staton said that critics would tell him that the support staff are already getting paid to do the job, and the principle of reciprocity doesn't apply there. But Staton said those critics forget about the tasks not listed in the job descriptions of the support staff. Facts. He said, they act like our counselors. They're like our surrogate parents. They go above and beyond, he said. The nature of reciprocity would simply make sure everybody wins, he continued. The support staff are happier. That would make us happier. And then that would give them a better work product. That would give us better work product. And I'm going to say facts, because you know what? Whether you think it's embarrassing or not, do you know how many students got, when they're like kids and stuff, they'll need like friendly like smile they got, or like just someone who cared for 5 seconds? Might have been the janitor. Janitors do a lot, and there's a lot of support staff. They have to take a lot of crap that isn't their job, but they do it anyway. They always go above and beyond. Like, forget even on a social level, just on a cleaning level, it's not their job. But they go above and beyond because they actually care, right? So just in and of itself, to have that life experience, that work experience, for him to have been born and bred and raised and cultured by this father within the system. I mean, I don't know, I guess it was like a beautiful collection / cacophony / symphony of ideals that have come together to create one amazing young man. And I just can't wait to see what else he's going to do, both with the Reciprocity Project and just in general with his law degree. He said he might be going into sports medicine. That might change though. But, all in all, I just think Rehan Staton is an excellent, incredible young man. And again, like I said, couldn't be happier that he was our first example of Ebony Excellence. So for those of y'all who say Black excellence doesn't exist or is a myth, that's cool. But trust me, examples of Ebony Excellence exist. Here's one of them.
And I might not get to the finish line with you, but I will continue to strive to carve out my own space before passing this baton on to a new generation of runners, confident in victory because success, it runs in my race.